So, from military point of view, the operation was, I would say, very well conducted.
If you were President of Pakistan today, or even if not, would you expect that there will be a reprisal in Pakistan? We saw the Jamaat-ud-Dawa, carry out these protest prayers yesterday. Do you think there's going to be a political fallout? And as someone who is clearly an aspirant for president once again in the future, how are you viewing the political events in the fallout of Osama's killing?
Well, it will have a temporary fallout, immediate context, political fallout we are talking of. It will have some political fallout, but not much, and I think it will fizzle out in days. The other issue is about some escalation in terrorism, terrorist acts in Pakistan, possibility again. Yes, we have to guard against that. There is a possibility of Al-Qaeda venting their anger and undertaking. In fact, they have threatened to do that. So, therefore, one has to guard against that. That could happen also.
But will the Al-Qaeda exist after Osama?
Yes, of course. Obviously, it will. One person, Al-Qaeda, Osama had become a symbol, more of a symbol. We are talking of Al-Qaeda all over. We are talking of Al-Qaeda in Islamic Maghreb, Algeria and Mali. We are talking of Al-Qaeda in Arab Peninsula, in Somalia and Yemen. So, Al-Qaeda so Osama bin Laden is a symbol, and with I am very sure that Al-Qaeda was not under his personal command from everywhere. He was not even communicating as we know. So, therefore, his going really doesn't mean that Al-Qaeda is just gone and vanished into thin air. They still are there.
Lastly, I want to come to the Indian angle. General Musharraf, people in India believe this is the best time for India to launch another diplomatic offensive against a very discredited Pakistan. We already had a statement from the American ambassador Tim Romer here, where he said we would once again appeal to the Pakistani government and push them to take action against Hafiz Saeed, Lakhvi and the others in the 26/11 attack. Besides, of course, India has got its own list, especially that of Dawood Ibrahim. After this, you may deny it, but after Pakistan's being exposed, as potentially complicit with Osama bin Laden, can this Pakistani government continue to resist the international pressure to come clean on the whole question of harboring terrorists and supporters of terrorism?
Well, they must come clean on this issue. Obviously, they must prove that it's not government or army or ISI involved in harboring terrorists. The other issue of Lashkar-e-Tayyaba, Hafiz Saeed or Dawood Ibrahim and all that, well, I leave it to the government to respond. But one thing is very clear, India should not follow a one-sided affair. We know that the terrorist of Pakistan, Brahm Dag, keeps going to India. He is received in Delhi by your RAW. So, let us not make this a one-sided affair. If this happens, if you are talking of Dawood Ibrahim, we are talking of him also. Let RAW also do its bit in removing these doubts and sensitivities of Pakistan. So, it is not a one-sided game at all, and that is what I have always been saying.
But General Musharraf,
unfortunately, India tries to push its own way. Well, Pakistan will not allow that.
General Musharraf, finally,
it's a game. We have to fight terrorism.
Yeah.
But you have a role to play. Your RAW has a role to play also to correct it. And so also we should play our role to correct it.
Sure, certainly. I mean, both sides, nobody should support terrorism. Yes, my penultimate question to you is, even if I were to take your point, General Musharraf, it's been proven, the most experienced commentators in America are now saying that Pakistan's bogey of Kashmir, which has been used to justify continuing support to the Taliban and other extreme elements, that must be nipped in the bud. More and more arguments today, in the American media and among informed American scholars are saying the same thing. We cannot let Pakistan use Kashmir anymore to justify this sort of action.
What sort of action? I don't think anyone here is connecting that. Kashmir, the bogey of Kashmir, as you said, well, I won't call it a bogey at all. It's a great reality. And if anyone in India calls it a bogey, where they are very, very divorced from reality. It's a very important issue. It gives rise to public sympathy for the people of Kashmir, and the people of in Pakistan who have this public sympathy want to go across voluntarily to fight your army in Kashmir. Now, if Indian leadership does not accept this or does not realize this, we are divorced from reality. We will never have peace. We will not be able to fight terrorism at its core. So, we have to resolve the Kashmir dispute. It's not a bogey.
What about
Now,
Dawood Ibrahim? What about Dawood Ibrahim? Why is he so indispensable
yes.
to the Pakistani government?
Yes,
why do you need to provide him the support?
Nobody is indispensable, but I would like to say that the issue cannot be one-sided. Your terrorist, you expect ought to be our terrorist, but we also expect that our terrorist should also be your terrorist. So, when we talk of Brahm Dag, who from Kabul goes to Delhi and he is received by RAW, and that we know that through him arms and money gets transferred to terrorists in Pakistan, like his cousin who was bringing arms into Pakistan, truckloads, obviously getting it from sources which were facilitated probably most likely by RAW. So, therefore, our terrorists also have to be your terrorists. So, it has to be two-sided, it cannot be one-sided.
So, you would be in support
you expect us to do something, we expect you to do something.
So, you would in the interim say that Pakistan should continue harboring Dawood Ibrahim and his 8,000 crore rupee drug.
I have given you the answer, and I will. Would you like me to? Are you saying that you will continue to support Brahm Dag and keep giving him weapons to take into Balochistan? Are you saying that? You give me the answer first, and then I'll give you the answer on Dawood Ibrahim.
I don't think we'll come to an easy conclusion on that one.
Yes, we won't. Yes. We won't, because these are tricky issues.
Yes.
It is not one-sided. The problem is that India keeps blaming Pakistan. And while we are telling you that we are being stabbed in the back in Balochistan through these terrorists, you don't accept it. So, therefore, please understand, we have our own sovereignty to guard. Yes. We have our own interest. We have our own prestige and dignity. If you want to treat us with equal equality, sovereign equality, one ought to go forward towards fighting terrorism at its core.
General Musharraf, trust me, I don't want to make this adversarial. Certainly that is not the idea. But I just do want to ask you, sir. You are also a politician. You are a general. You are a politician. You are a person steeped in the reality of what is happening in Pakistan. Tell me, sir, you know, every time Pakistan saying we are the victims of terrorism, we are the victims of terrorism. Now, if I'm sure, you know, you travel globally, you are seeing that globally people are really questioning that argument like never before. Have you seen before, you know, before this, so much cynicism about Pakistan's argument that it's a victim of terrorism?
Well, unfortunately, yes, indeed, you would like to tell the world that we are not, we are the perpetrators, and many others call us the perpetrators, but we ought to talk what is the reality. We certainly are the victims of terrorism. But however, that doesn't mean that we don't want to fight terrorism, that we are on the side of terrorism. We are the victims of terrorism. We are the victims of what has been happening since 1979. 79 to 89, religious militancy was introduced by the West against Soviet Union, and Pakistan was a part of it. We brought Mujahideen here, 25,000. We armed Taliban for 10 years. And then after 1989 till 2001, what was happening? Again, religious militancy. And then what happened in Kashmir? I'll come back to Kashmir. Independent struggle started. And again, these, what is Hizbul Mujahideen? Hizbul Mujahideen are people from your part of Kashmir. They came and they want to fight you. And then there were people of Pakistan who want to go across and fight. So therefore, this was the effect of all that was happening in Afghanistan and in Kashmir, yes, that we had the fallout of religious militancy. So we are the victims of terrorism, because look at the bomb blast, look at the suicide bombs. Aren't we the victims? Well, who says we are not the victims? But that doesn't matter. If you are inferring, if you are implying that anyone is saying that we therefore we will not fight terrorism, therefore we will side the terrorists. No, that is not what we are saying. So how do you relate these two? Yes, we are the victims, but we are on the side to fight terrorism. We want to destroy Al Qaeda. We will fight Taliban and defeat them. We want to do that.
Well,
So what is the controversy?
okay. Let's see which way the global opinion moves. But it's always a pleasure talking to you, General Parvez Musharraf. Thank you for joining me on the news. Thank you.
I don't get impressed by global views. I have my own views, and I have views of Pakistan, and I believe in projecting Pakistan views.
Absolutely, and General Musharraf, I don't agree with your views, but you have your right to have your views, and we are putting your views out tonight.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course, yes. You have right to your views, I have right to my views.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Thank you very much. Look forward to talking again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you. Well, General Musharraf, thank you very, very much. Good talking to you, and thank you to all our viewers. Tell us what you think of how you think India is responding to the present situation. For now, good night and goodbye.